Okay, some time has passed since our chit-chat in the graveyard. So we're in chapter 7. The whole looking into Levon and Levi's heart thing has happened, and we're in the church now. And, Hugh likes to pop up and just cause trouble from time to time, so he's here to do that again.
Levi, when did you start wearing the magical stone?
A man joined in the conversation without anyone noticing his entrance. Everyone jumped up and turned to the source of the voice.
Oh, excuse me. Did I scare you?
Who are you?
Hugh! When did you come in here?
You're the man from the snowdrop field.
Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Lawrence and Elric, on the other hand, seemed to be disgusted by the whole ordeal. I love that they're just like, so over this.
Oh, brother. We seem to have so many strange guests today.
I thought I locked the doors. How'd you get in here? Levon here seems to remember me. There hasn't been enough time passed for me to greet you with long time no see.
Were you eavesdropping?
Chad! Who is he?
He's... The entire atmosphere was in chaos. It would be better if I gave a proper explanation to everyone. Sounds like he smacked him. Hugh picked up Levi's left hand, completely ignoring the confused crowd.
Hey, what are you doing?
Don't move. Oh, look here.
Levi was still wearing the ring with the magical stone set in it. When I looked at the stone now, it didn't appear to give off that glow.
It's quite clouded. You must have been heavily influenced by its effects.
Effects? Never mind that. Who the hell are you?
I'd like for you to answer my question. So, Levi, when did you start wearing this?
When?
Since he was a kid. I received mine at the same time. They are our family's heirlooms.
I see. No wonder you seem to keep it on your person so carefully. Levi and Levon both. Excuse me. I suppose that's neither here nor there right now.
Hugh, you said that Levi was under its effect. I still hadn't told Levon and Levi about the stones. I was the only one who understood what Hugh was talking about. And you're saying Levi's murderous impulses are because of the magical stone?
Not all of it. Think of it as something that causes a small spark to burn into a much larger flame.
In other words,
a wolf cub is still a wolf.
He was being so ambiguous. I didn't know how I should take that message. Was he saying that even without the magical stone, Levi would have eventually gone out and murdered someone? Or would that desire not ever have surfaced if it weren't for the stone?
I'll take my leave now. I'm sure there are things you need to explain to those two.
He appeared uninvited and left similarly on his own accord. I had seen him many times already at this point, but I still didn't understand him. We may never understand him. After doing all the routes and everything in this game, I feel like we still won't understand him. But I would deal with him later. So, with that being said, time to skip ahead till the later part. Which should be very soon, because I think, Levi goes to rest, and we can choose between going to see him or see Hugh, so... yeah. Let's go to the chapel and see Hugh! I exited the room and secretly checked out the chapel. Not a lot of time had passed, but just as Lawrence said, there were quite a few people already there. I'd catch people's attention if I went out dressed like this, but I hesitated to purposely change into women's clothes. While I was waffling, I saw Hugh at the corner of my eye. He's still here? He was in the shadows right under the stained glass window. That position was like a blind spot that most people would overlook. Hugh noticed that I was approaching him, and he gave a bright smile. I didn't talk to him, and just looked up at the same stained glass window where he was looking.
The craftsman who made this stained glass window was so destitute that he had trouble putting food on the table.
Hugh spoke. Although I had no artistic ability, I thought that the window looked beautiful. Even someone who could make something like this would have trouble making a living.
It was supposedly made while he wished for peace in the town, as well as the happiness of the people. But the craftsman still lost to his battle with poverty. He betrayed his family and friends for the sake of money.
You seem to know a lot.
It was an interesting story. Do you think that craftsman committed a sin?
I don't know exactly, but if he betrayed others, I think so.
Yes, your opinion is correct. But wishing for one's own happiness can't be a bad thing.
There's nothing wrong with the act of wishing.
But there are types of happiness that you cannot attain just by wishing. In those cases, could it be a sin to even wish for it?
What was with this man? Did he stick around just to say this nonsense to me? Probably enjoys it. He appeared out of nowhere and also disappeared at random too. He was like Ashen Hawk. Yeah, is that coincidence or intentional? Did Apris also take on a character's role by accident? The role being Ash's? Hugh's? He must have noticed my stare. Hugh continued on.
I am a traveler.
I was wondering if you were a ghost.
A ghost, you say? That would be nice too.
For some reason, I wanted to continue the conversation. A conversation about nothing with this suspicious, self-proclaimed traveler.
I'm continuing a long, long journey, all the while jotting down in my notes anything interesting from the places I visit. And this town is among the places I have visited in the past.
The past?
The town then shone under the bright sun, with flowers blooming as far as the eye could see. I was partway through a story I was reading, so I just ended up staying here through 2 whole seasons.
Huh. I haven't seen that before. So this town was covered in snow.
17 years ago. Or I should say that the snow became heavier 10 years ago. I'm sure the people of this town have forgotten what the real sun looks like. The Masquerade Festival has become like a prayer for spring and summer.
Morning, evening, midnight. Listen to the voice of spring.
Those people have forgotten what they had seen until 17 years ago. Yes, humanity is a creature of oblivion. In a sense, you calling me a ghost isn't wrong.
I didn't mean to call you that literally.
Even my form, my voice, everything about me will be forgotten eventually. Then what will that make me in your eyes? That is just someone's impression. You don't even know if I really exist. Especially in this town.
What are you talking about? You exist right here, Hugh.
Are you sure?
I'm sure this isn't what you're talking about. But people have no choice but to believe in what they see. I can see you and talk to you.
He's got someone to believe in him. Thank you. I could have no greater joy than to hear those words.
He seemed to thank me sincerely, which made me feel abashed. I didn't think I was saying anything out of the ordinary.
I was careless to get caged up in this snowy town, but I did not expect such a wonderful encounter. Okay, I've made up my mind.
About what?
To side with you. I was intent on remaining a bystander, but I will now accept whatever results from your choices.
Hugh reached out to touch my cheek, and then he gently pulled me toward him. His lips touched my other cheek. You're just like smooching this girl on her cheeks. I didn't dislike it. It was a very natural kiss from which I sensed goodwill. But then I suddenly got the urge to complain after seeing a teasing smile on Hugh's face. I also just realized that both Hugh and Ashen Hawk have this thing about kissing Jed on different sides of her face. For Ashen Hawk, it's her eyes, and for Hugh, it's her cheeks. What does this mean? Is that also a connection thingy? I don't know. What's the meaning of this? I rubbed my cheek where he kissed.
Did I offend you?
Of course you did.
I didn't
mean that, but Hugh probably knew it. We didn't chat about anything significant, but I felt closer to Hugh now. That was the feeling I got. Sure. Get a smooch on the cheek, feel closer. Checks out. Alright, well, I'm not sure when he shows up again. I think it's a little bit ways away from now, so I'll bring you in when he does show up again. Okay, and now we're doing the part of the scene from when we brought tea to the church that we didn't do in Lucas's route. But this is when Jed ran out from the guilt, ran to the snowfield flower... Snowfield flower? Snowdrop flower field. There we go. Whoa, dyslexia. And had her whole talk with Hugh, and I was saving that for this route. So, now we're gonna see that. I ran and ran and ran. I continued to run from something I couldn't escape. I soon slipped and fell on my face. Ah! That was a loud slam. It didn't hurt. Had my sensations dulled so much I couldn't feel pain? No, the many snowdrop flowers cushioned my fall. Here we are again. Yesterday I found tea here at the snowdrop field. Why did I come here of all places? I laughed at myself. I lay on my back to face the sky. If I lay here, if I just lay here. It was snowing. There was so much snow you couldn't see the sky. There would be a large pile of snow again tomorrow. And the day after that, and the day after that. Maybe I should bury myself here. If I disappeared under the snow, I could vanish in peace. Hello.
Are you going to end it all here?
That wasn't my imagination. Hugh was standing above, looking down on me. Why was he here? Did he know about what happened with tea? There was no point in questioning it when it came to this man. It hurts.
Why?
It feels like I'm not myself anymore. In a surprising turn of events, this man appeared to think for a second. Interesting choice of words. It feels like I'm not myself anymore. Was it the Jed character taking over for a bit?
The people around you all like you, more or less. And that has caused you to be arrogant.
No, Could I really deny that? I took advantage of T's feelings for me. I was always dependent on Lawrence and Elric, too. Lavon, even Levi.
To put it simply, you became full of yourself, and it caused you to hurt someone who likes you without a second thought.
Those words hit me hard. He turned my regrets into words and clarified the foolish actions I took.
But that is a normal emotion.
That's not true. This feeling can't be normal.
You will be happy when people like you. Sad if they hate you. You don't think that's normal?
But I did that to T.
It's not a pure white emotion, but it's not a completely dark one either. It's the gray kind of emotion that is caught between the dualism of good and evil. I hold dear humans who have that.
Tears overflowed. Those dark emotions inside me came out as tears, one drop at a time. It soon turned into a stream, and I couldn't stop it. I was crying out loud before I knew it. Why was I crying? Crying won't give me forgiveness. Crying won't wash away these ugly emotions. Hugh was right there, so I didn't want him to see me crying like a child. And yet, I couldn't stop. He remained silent and sat next to me. He stayed there until I stopped crying. What a good boy. Just like, sometimes all you have to do is just be there with someone. Don't have to say anything. Just be there while they're going through a hard time. So, good job, Hugh. I didn't know how much time had passed. How much time did I need until the tears dried? As if he were waiting for that, Hugh finally opened his mouth.
Have you ever heard of the story of the two butterflies that tried to survive winter?
Butterflies?
Yes, butterflies who were lovers. The two butterflies were trying to survive a winter together, but one of them died.
What happened to the other one?
It survived until the spring in solitude. It waited until the flowers bloomed again so that it could bring about new life. And it ends there.
Huh?
Once it brought about life, that butterfly also died in solitude. The end. Well, the author did spin this one to be a sad story. Was that the best for the butterfly? I wonder if it was satisfied. What do you think?
I didn't know. I thought it was a sad story, but that was the way of nature. Butterflies gave birth to more, died, and the cycle repeated. Why would Hugh tell me this?
It seems you still don't understand.
He pointed at my chest and continues on.
When your spring blooms in your heart, who would be the one to take residence there?
My spring?
You should think long and hard until the day you must make your decision, red-eyed witch. No, I suppose it's more accurate to call you a red-eyed girl.
Hugh left these incomprehensible words behind as he departed. The spring of my heart. I mean, choosing who resides there, I understand as far as, like, these roots I've been picking, but why spring of my heart? They're anything but a new beginning. They're just all bitter-sweet, cold endings. For the most part, I'd maybe argue Levon's is the most like a new beginning out of all the endings we've done, but I don't know if I'd call them springs of the heart. I look up at the sky again. The snowfall had lightened. At this rate, there wouldn't be too thick of a layer. I wouldn't be able to get buried by this. Drat. All the unnecessary things in my heart seemed to have flowed out along with my tears. I had to face whatever was left inside. And for that, I knew the first thing I had to do. I needed to see T. Alright, so we're gonna let our girl go see T before she forgets all about her, and I'll bring you in when Hugh shows up again. Okay, it is now the night before the big raid on Ulgar's castle. So, who are we going to talk to? The boy that we haven't talked to since the beginning. And I do remember this scene because it has my favorite piece of music in the entire game. So let's go talk to Hugh. I wanted to see Hugh. He wasn't here, but I'm gonna try to see him anyway. That was what I thought. I shook my head immediately. He wouldn't appear just because I wanted to see him. Hello?
You rang?
Whoa! How did he... The man stood to my side with the slight grin he always wore, so he does hear me. So he just intentionally left me alone when Algar was dying. The rudeness.
Was it so surprising you had to yell?
Why are you... I had almost forgotten. This man always appeared out of nowhere. How many times had we had this exchange? I didn't know why I laughed. Why did this man always appear before me? What was he thinking? I usually wondered about that, but today was different. I simply wanted to talk to Hugh. Maybe I was feeling a bit emotional right now. I wanted to talk.
Talk?
Yeah, it can be about anything. Fairy tales, tall tales, whatever. You probably know a lot of those. That's what I feel like right now.
Are you feeling needlessly sentimental? I suppose you will need accompaniment through the night during times like these.
He's probably surprised that, she had 3 guys that were actually there. And he's like, you want to talk to me? Of all people? Like, there's guys here, I like it. Hugh nodded to himself, then sat on the sofa and crossed his legs. His porcelain cheek was illuminated by the glow of the stained glass window. It was it?
Now then, let me tell you of the world where it constantly rains.
Cue the music. Rains? There it is. I love this remix, it's so good.
It is the story of a manor far away from here.
I sat next to Hugh to listen. His voice shook the air. His words came out in a regular rhythm, giving me the illusion that it was drawing me into a dream. I passed through the stories that Hugh told. About 2 brothers who were finally able to bury the hatchet. About the coming of age of a weak boy. About the girl who found hope amidst despair. About the elder brother who lost his sister when she was still young. About the man who lived in fantasy, moving along to the next worlds. They all seemed like fairy tales, but a part of me felt they were all real.
That's about it.
After listening to all of it, Hugh's voice brought me back to reality. Were all those stories something you created?
No. They all happened in real life. Whether it is something that happened in the past or will happen in the distant future, you have no way of knowing.
He said nonsensical things as always. After listening to him talk, there was something I noticed. Aren't there any stories where you appear, Hugh? If they were stories that he'd seen himself, it wouldn't be strange if he appeared in them too. Even if the stories were all made up, I thought it would be interesting to hear a story Hugh appeared in.
I only record the stories of others. An observer, if you will. I will never be the protagonist.
He smiled with a hint of sadness. Then why not create your own story? Your life belongs to you. You're the protagonist of your story. So... I might be feeling a bit strange today. I rarely read any stories to begin with. Hugh's stories must have affected me in that way. Hugh seemed quite amused seeing how excited I was, as if I came up with some grandiose story. He didn't look at me in a negative way.
You're nice.
Hugh's finger reached out and brushed against my cheek.
You should choose me.
I'm going to, finally. It's finally your turn. Huh?
Talking to you, being watched by you. It makes me feel that I'm right here. I pray that there will be light wherever you go.
After saying that, he pulled away his fingers. Hugh. By the time I called out to him, he was already far away. I stood up from the chair, but I was unable to chase after him. I felt like I was left behind in one of his stories. You very well may be, girl. You very well may be. All right. Well, the plan goes into motion. I'll keep you guys around, because I'll bring you in for the fight with Hugh. I usually skip most of this, but I don't know. I really enjoy her fighting alongside Hugh for whatever reason. There he is. Let's see. Right there should be about good, I think. I needed to get up to the front. I need to get to the manor so I could reach Olgar.
This way.
Huh? Someone pulled me by the arm all of a sudden. I was pulled from the crowd and taken to a gap in the fence within the perimeter of the manor.
The infiltration has been a success.
I thought I was used to this man popping out of nowhere. Even so, I did not expect to see him here. Hugh, why? Before I could continue, Hugh hushed me with his finger.
It's too early to chat. There are still many soldiers inside the manor. Follow me.
Well, wait! This time he didn't draw me by the hand. I tried to follow Hugh by keeping him in my sights. We circled around to the back of the manor. There were 2 guards on patrol there.
Can you do it?
Of course. Hugh and I raced forward as one.
Who the hell are you?
I had to end this before they made any noise. Right as I passed by them, I drew my sword. It was deflected. I should have expected as much from Olgar's private guards, but that wasn't enough. Ha! Whoa! I parried his sword with the next strike. He was off balance, so I aimed for his neck. I smacked him with the blunt end of my sword. Gah! He collapsed. I managed to knock him out.
Well done. You're very kind, aren't you?
I turned around and see that he was done too. The soldier on the ground didn't seem to be bleeding. You too.
I simply dislike trouble. Now let's hurry. It's only a matter of time before they find out.
We snuck into the manor from an opened window. We avoided the stairway in the front and took a narrow wooden stairway, likely used by the servants to enter the 2nd floor. All sneaky-like. We dodged footsteps from the guards and prudently made our way forward. The building was quite vast, but I was surprised at how well I was making progress.
Now then, if you keep going, you'll arrive at Olgar's room.
Have you been to this manor before, Hugh? I called out to him as we ran. A part of me wasn't surprised that he seemed to know exactly how the manor was structured. He navigated us through it so smoothly that I couldn't doubt it.
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
There you go again, dodging the question. I wanted to get a straight answer out of him, but it was low on the priority list at the moment. Olgar was up ahead. The man who killed Francisca. A man crazed by the magical stone.
Over there!
I heard voices from behind us. The guards in the back must have discovered us. I turned around and saw a group of men running toward us. I drew my sword, but the man next to me held out his arm to stop me.
It's rather unoriginal, being interfered with after coming this far. I'll take care of them.
Hugh, but...
There is a black door, lavishly decorated around the corner. That's Olgar's room.
You bastards!
A soldier raised his sword high. In an instant, it was deflected by Hugh.
This is all I can help you with. The rest is up to you.
All right. I faced forward and started running. I would do all I could.
Wait! Ugh!
You have to deal with me first. I won't let you interfere.